Stop me if this sounds familiar. You still don't have the 1000 voices. You want the 1000 voices, but raiding is a pain in the ass. Or maybe you're fine with raiding, but you've heard a bunch of kooky, weird theories about how to coax the 1000 voices out of a chest. Only pick from these ones, do this, don't do this, yada yada yada. Well, this video is for you. My goal today is to answer the following questions that you might have. What's the fastest and easiest way to just straight up farm for the 1k voices? Is there any special magic involved with opening the chests in the final room? And does hoarding keys improve my odds of getting the 1k? Alright, let's start off with a popular theory, which I've heard even from trusted friends of mine about getting the 1000 voices. The theory: there are 2 chests in the final chest room that are guaranteed to contain a 1000 voices, and those chests are randomized each time. That theory isn't true. There are videos out there showing fire teams opening up every single chest in the final room of the Last Wish raid only to not get the gun to appear at all, which, aside from being heartbreaking, proves that there isn't a guaranteed one hiding in that room no matter what. Around here, we don't like theories and feelings, we like numbers. So let's go back to the This Week at Bungie from April 9th, which mentioned the improved drop rates for the Last Wish raid. The 1000 voices drop rate was improved from 5% to 10%, meaning that getting the 1000 voices out of a chest is pure hard cold RNG. I've heard another theory that says that the chest you open doesn't matter, the only thing that matters is if your ethereal key, aka the item you get from killing Riven, which lets you open the chest, is predetermined upon you getting it to be a 1k granting key, which there's really no way to prove, but it doesn't matter because whether it's the key being predetermined to give you the gun or the chest simply having a chance of containing the gun, it all boils down to the same answer. Every time you use a key to open a chest in the final room of the Last Wish raid, you have a 10% chance of getting the gun. That's it. Nothing fancy, no other factors are coming into play. Now, if the 2 1000 voices hidden in 2 random chests each and every time you go into the room theory were true, which again, it's not true, but if it were true, your best chance of success would be to hoard 24 keys and open every chest in the room yourself. But because that theory isn't true and you have a pure 10% chance of getting the weapon with every chest that you open, your best chance at getting the 1000 voices as quickly and as easily as possible is as follows. Every week, obtain 3 keys as quickly as humanly possible by only doing back-to-back-to-back Riven runs, which we will go over how to do. Go to the chest room one and only one time, open 3 chests and cross your fingers, and that's it. Well, wait a minute, Fallout. You said go to the chest room one time. If each chest has a 10% chance, then why are you only going to the chest room one time? It's not like opening multiple chests at once will give you better odds. And you're right, that is true. I mean, if you really want to, you can go to the chest room each time after you kill Riven, but what I'm saying is that that takes extra time to do, time which you don't need to spend, so why waste time? Because RNG is the only thing standing between you and that glorious exotic weapon, you ideally want to spend as little time as possible farming for ethereal keys so you can move on with your life. That's always the key to good farming in Destiny. Use the fastest method possible without wasting more time than you need to. So with that in mind, here is the fastest way to both grind out 3 ethereal keys each week and only go to the final chest room once. Alright, first things first, you want to start the raid and go directly to the area before the first encounter where you can type in the code for the 7th wish. You want to do that because entering the 7th wish code teleports you directly to Riven, and again, that's all you really care about right now. You can do the whole raid if you want to, but if you want to ethereal key farm quickly, go right to Riven. To input the 7th wish, shoot the icons on the wall until you have this image exactly, and when every title is exactly the right picture that you see here, then step on the panel on the floor to activate the 7th wish and be teleported directly to the Riven encounter. Alright, now you're at Riven. Before continuing, have everybody wipe, then have one member of your fire team quit out and switch to a different character. Why? Well, now that the fire team member has a Riven checkpoint saved on that character, it'll be easier to load it up for the other 2 times that you want to fight Riven later. Yeah, you could technically just begin the raid again fresh and enter the 7th wish code again each time you want to go back in, but just having the checkpoint readier, I think, is much easier. Okay, so one of your party members has the checkpoint saved and you're ready to fight Riven. Quick heads up, I am recommending the cheesing Riven method because, yeah, you can fight her the normal way, but we're farming out here, and our goal is to do this as fast as we can, and that means cheesing Riven. Recommended loadouts. The Prospector exotic grenade launcher does a buttload of damage to Riven, and no, I am not joking. If you have that weapon, use it. If you don't have it, a cluster bomb rocket launcher with a boss spec mod should do in a pinch. As backup, aka when you ultimately run out of power ammo from shooting Riven, you can grab either a mountaintop grenade launcher if you have one, and if you don't, any sniper rifle should be fine. If you're using a grenade launcher, try to find armor in your vault with the grenade launcher reserves perk. That'll give you more overall ammo for your launcher, which is nice. If you're using the cluster bomb rocket launcher, then look for armor with rocket launcher reserves naturally. For subclasses, your group will need 1 Radiant Well Warlock with the Lunafaction boots. That's really kind of it. Other things are nice to have and can definitely help kill Riven quicker, but really the Radiant Well Warlock and the Lunafaction is all you need. Titans, you can have a Melting Point Hammer Titan on you if you want to try and Melting Point Riven before DPSing her, but trust me, you really don't need to. In fact, forget I recommended that. Hunters, if you can, put on the Celestial Nighthawk with the Bottom Tree Golden Gun. Any armor that you have that has a Transcendent Blessing armor mod on it will also be good to have right about now. Remember, you don't need to worry about being under light level 700. This is technically an old raid. You just need to make sure that you don't dip down below 600 light level. Alright, you're geared up, drop a raid banner, everyone activate it for maximum ammo and super energy, then everyone stand on a plate and begin the Riven encounter. Your goal is for all 6 members of your fire team to meet up on the crystal side doorway and head inside together. Once in the next room, 4 players should wait right here, while 2 players head inside to see if Riven will show up in the crystal side room. There's a 50% chance that she'll be there, and it's fine, and a 50% chance that you'll have to quickly switch to the other side. When the 2 players head in, immediately look at the area where Riven would normally pop out. You're looking for her shadow to glide by on that doorway area. If you see that, it means that Riven will be popping out of there. So if you're on the right side, great. Begin the damage phase protocol, which you can skip ahead in the video to watch. If Riven isn't there in the crystal room, aka you don't see her shadow gliding by on the wall, everyone on your fire team needs to go back to the room where you were before and stand right here against the wall until you see the message joining allies, along with a countdown timer, which you're intentionally going to wait out. That is going to teleport you and everyone on your fire team back up top, and now all of you together will go to the right and drop down into the tree side room. Again, you need to all go together, don't leave anyone behind. When you enter the room, Riven should quickly appear, and now we will talk about the damage phase protocol. When Riven pokes her big head out, the Warlock will do 2 things. 1, drop the Well of Radiance, and 2, melee a nearby taken thrall in order to activate the Guiding Flame melee buff, which will give you and nearby allies an extra damage buff. So ideally, make sure you're leaving at least 1 taken thrall alive in that room so that when Riven does show up, you can melee the thrall and activate the buff. Once the Radiant Well is dropped and the melee buff is active, which again, you need to do rather quickly, it's time to kill Riven. Either take your Prospect grenade launcher or your cluster bomb rocket launcher and unload it into Riven's open mouth until you are completely out of power ammo. Once empty, switch to either your mountaintop grenade grenade launcher or your sniper rifle that I told you to put on earlier and keep shooting her in the mouth until the damage phase is over. Hunters, before firing your power weapon, hit Riven's mouth with your Celestial Nighthawk golden gunshot, then continue to burn power ammo as you normally would. If all goes well, you should do enough damage to trigger the teleportation phase, where Riven transports you to another location briefly and you have to do your classic jumping puzzle bullcrap. Follow the route as shown here and keep going upwards. Be sure to kill the Taken when you can, because if left unchecked, they can blast you off, and that is really annoying. Get to the very top and grab the Taken strength, taking you back to fighting Riven the very final time. Be sure to revive any teammates who may have died during the jumping puzzle bullcrap and use whatever remaining ammo and super energy you have to polish off Riven. Run into her open mouth, destroy her heart, and boom, you have earned one ethereal key. Normally, this is the part where you would go on a wild relay race to deliver the heart of Riven to the final chest room, but not yet. Remember, we're trying to minimize effort here, like all good farmers. So that means now everyone switches characters. Get your one fireteam member who saved the Riven checkpoint I mentioned earlier. Join up on that fireteam member so you don't have to waste time entering the 7th wish code again. Again, make sure to have at least one other fireteam member save the checkpoint and switch characters again. Then everyone beat Riven the exact same way a second time. Then if you have a third character, and I'm hoping you do it all over again, beat Riven a third and final time for that week. After killing Riven a third time and earning your third ethereal key, now it's time to go to the chest room. Here is a hopefully understandable breakdown of how this part works if you didn't already know. Now, your goal here is to relay race Riven's heart all the way back to the room where you would normally enter to begin the vault challenge, then drop down a newly formed hole in the floor, walk up the stairs, and dunk Riven's heart into a pool of black sludge. Easy peasy. Here's how it works. RNG will pick one member in your fire team to be the first person to carry Riven's heart. Lucky you. You will carry Riven's heart for as long as you possibly can while running with your team until the timer on the heart hits 0, and then whoever was carrying the heart at that moment will be teleported into the heart itself, where they will remain fighting off Taken until the encounter is over. With the exception of the last Guardian, who will inevitably dunk Riven's heart into the black goo. Every player who winds up carrying Riven's heart will eventually be teleported into the heart itself, so don't worry about that happening, it's not a bad thing. There is a way to refresh the timer while carrying the heart, but it can only be done one time for each Guardian who carries it, and the timer can only be refreshed by the Guardians who have already been teleported into the heart itself. Here's how that mechanic works. Once teleported into the heart, glowing Taken strengths will begin to appear. The very first time one person is teleported in, only one Taken strength will appear. That's kind of how it goes. With each new fire team member that picks up and carries the heart, more Taken strengths will appear on the inside of the heart. The rule of thumb on that mechanic is the last Taken strength that gets touched will refresh the timer for whichever Guardian is carrying the heart outside. So if you're in the heart alone and only one Taken strength has spawned, well, that's the last one for that wave, so touching it will refresh the timer of your teammate carrying the heart outside. Another good rule of thumb for the person carrying the heart is to always count out loud their current heart timer so everyone else in the fire team can hear. Once your teammate has counted down to about 4 or 3 seconds left, make sure whoever is on the inside of the heart touches the last remaining Taken strength in order to refresh the timer as close to the buzzer as possible. Doing it close to the buzzer is fairly crucial because that way you make sure you're getting as much time carrying the heart as you possibly can. If you refresh the heart carrier counter right away without letting a lot of time pass, you're wasting seconds that could have been spent carrying the heart a little bit further. So how do you know who on the inside of the heart is going to be the one who touches the last Taken strength to refresh the carrier timer? Our group rule is that whoever is the first fire team member to carry the heart and get teleported inside will will become the designated last strength toucher person. That way, you keep it simple. Quick example, if there are 3 guardians inside the heart, there will be 3 taken strengths to touch. The designated last strength toucher person will find a nearby taken strength and say, hey, this one is mine. You two go find and touch the other 2. The other 2 guardians will go and find the other 2 strengths in the area, touch them, and then when the heart carrier gets to about 4 or 3 seconds left in their countdown, the designated last strength toucher person will touch the final strength and refresh the counter. Remember, each person carrying the strength can only have their timer refreshed 1 time before ultimately getting teleported in. For people running around on the outside of the heart, your goal is simple. Keep the heart carrier alive and stay relatively near them, because the further away you stray, you will get debuffed and eventually die. However, right before they're about to get teleported inside, stay away from them. Standing too close to the carrier when the timer hits 0 will teleport you inside the heart with them, and that is bad, because that means that there's 1 less player now who has the ability to carry the heart to its final destination before everyone dies. You really never want to have more than 1 person in the team teleported inside the heart at the same time. For the route, you have to run with the heart. Go ahead and watch here. You have to go out of Riven's mouth, head to the left a little bit, and carry on to this room, where you'll then head to the right and jump over this area where the floor is dark and hurts you if you touch it. From there, head right and you'll be heading back to this room, which, if you'll remember, is the vault encounter room, if you've ever done that part in the raid before. Now, your end goal, again, is to wind up in the main entranceway of the vault room, but it's never ever going to be a straight shot. You'll either need to go to the left to the rock room or right to the tree room, depending on which of those areas is open when you get there. No matter which room is open though, remember that no matter what, you'll be taking the long way to the main entrance room. So if you go to the right to the tree room, you'll need to hook another right and then go the long way through the tunnels to the entrance room. If you go left to the rock room, same thing. You have to take another immediate left to take the long way through the tunnels to the tree room, and then keep taking the tunnels to the main entrance room. Having fun yet? When you're finally in the main entrance room of the vault area, fall through the large hole in the floor, drop all the way down to the bottom, head up that little staircase nearby, dunk the heart into the black goo, and boom, you are done. Now, you're finally in the chest room, which you only had to waste time getting to once, and you have 3 keys in hand. Well done. Take those 3 keys, open 3 chests, pray to whatever god you believe in, and best of luck to you. Again, it is a 10% chance per chest, nothing more, nothing less. You may, at this point, hear weird theories from people in your fire team. Ooh, only open the chest covered in a shadow. Only open a chest if your teammate kills himself with a rocket launcher on top of it. Only open this chest if you had cereal for breakfast this morning. Fine, do whatever hokey pokey bullcrap you believe in. But again, it doesn't matter which chest you open, because it's a 10% chance on each and every one. Cross your fingers. If you get the gun, good for you. If you don't get the gun, hey, look on the bright side. You saved a lot of time by not doing the entire raid 3 times, only the Riven encounter, which you cheesed, so it was really quick, and you can try it again next week. One final problem you might have. Hey, I don't have anyone to play the raid with. Yeah, I get that, that blows. But now that you've seen this video, you know how to key farm, so why not get an LFG group going? You don't need friends, you can show strangers how it's done. Just be really clear right from the get-go that you're only interested in farming Riven. LFG groups aren't always ideal, but look on the bright side. You're only killing Riven as opposed to doing the entire raid all the way through. That means less explaining on your part overall. Hey, you can always join my Discord at discord.gg/falloutplays. Smooth plug, we have LFG channels in there, and they're not always mega populated, but we can try to get something going for you. If you found this video helpful in any way, or if you're feeling kind, make my day by clicking the subscribe button. Be an extra homie by going over to twitch.tv/falloutplays and throwing me a follow over there. Then go ahead and hop on Twitter and tell me that you were an extra homie and followed me on Twitch. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.